Okay, so I'm officially starting my YouTube page today. It's we're going to be called Outdoor Adventures with Swamp Cooley, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. A lot of outdoor adventures. We're going to do our first video today. We're going to be a little clumsy with it. We're going to bounce along. Got a lot of good stuff to do, a lot of good ideas, a lot of good educational stuff. Can't wait to get it going. So let's get started. All right, to get started, we're going to start off making some arrows. Now this is a typical solid arrow. I've got a Hernando made here for an insert. But this we're going to get into later, but we are going to make some more of the solid arrows. But first what we're going to do is we're going to go cut some hollow shafts. We're going to make actually some 8 to 9 foot shafts. And they will be used on what we call the atlatl. We're going to go a little bit more into that in the near future. First, we're going to make some arrows that we can use to throw with these devices. The bow is actually the predecessor to these guys. We're going to learn more about them shortly, but we need to get us some shafts made, some arrows, and I'll show you how they work. Okay. We're out in what I call the reed patch, where I gathered my reeds at. I got my trusty river dog with me, and we're getting ready to make some cuts. So if you look around, you'll see in the background, you can see the reeds all behind me. This is a river reed. It's not a bamboo. It's it doesn't have the split in the sides of it, and makes for a real good arrow. And I've cut a few behind me. You see I've got on the ground. Basically just cut them down. We're gonna go back and we're gonna get some flint out. We're gonna skin them down and get ready to do some firing with them, and we're gonna fire temper them. But again, you can see these, and these typically go down in your lower areas. Out of the live oak band, you start getting into your sweet gum trees and just about the edge of your live oaks down to your low flatlands, and you'll find these reed patches. And they're not bamboo. They're a little different. When we get up close, we'll take a better look at them, and we'll get out of the mosquitoes today. They're quite prevalent down here. Anyway, we'll be back. Okay, so I've got our reeds back. I've took some flint and actually busted 2 pieces out, busted a chip off. Sharp as a chip's ever going to be is when it first gets busted off of our flakes. I mean, your first chip's always the sharpest. And then what I'm going to do is basically we're going to take these, we're going to knock the suckers off, and then we'll take this flint. If you can see, I will take and start taking the outside bark off. And you should be able to see that pretty well coming off. We'll go around each joint and we'll get it nice and slick. And once we get these polished up real good and clean, we'll come back and do a little straightening while they're green, and then we'll fire them. We'll do a fire treat, which will heat temper them, make them really strong. As you can see, this is just a piece of flint. I've knocked off the 2 other pieces. This material is still raw. But again, like I said, a flake, when you break it off, it's the sharpest it'll ever be. You can put teeth on it, make it sharp, make it where it cuts good. But as far as actual razor sharp, this is it. Sharpest it'll ever be. And I use it basically like a braider, and you see the bark coming off. I'm basically gonna rake off in between each joint. And then I'll come along and knock it off in between the centers. And this will also make it take the heat better. And get it slick. Now when I say slick, I mean as far as knocking my ridges down on each one of these joints in between. You've got an air pocket in between each joint in a reed. When we're firing, gotta be real careful not to overfire it. We get it heat and it'll go off, sound like a missile. So that just gives you an idea how sharp that flint is and how much material is actually taken off of there. Okay, so for this segment, in this video, this is going to wrap it up. We've got 3 shafts, well trained, fairly straight, pretty slick to the hand. And the next one we come on, we're going to be doing some videos of finishing, refining, firing, and putting the arrowheads on the end. So if you like what you see, give me a like on my page, and come back in a few days and watch what's next in store with Swamp Cooley.